religious leaders, traditional leaders, and majesties. There are two words that come to mind when faith leaders gather. The one is the Jewish word of shalom, and the other is the South African concept of Ubuntu. Shalom is rooted in the word shlemut, meaning wholeness, which is not merely the absence of conflict, but rather the embodiment of togetherness. Unity, solidarity. Similarly, the South African concept of Ubuntu speaks to interconnectedness and harmony, emphasizing that our humanity is bound together. Both concepts lose their depth when narrowly translated into English, but they share a vision, peace, that arises from embracing our collective wholeness. Our South African national crest bears the motto, "Diverse people unite." This is a call to forge a whole from many parts, yet our Constitution's preamble offers a slightly different nuance, speaking of being united in diversity. This isn't a call to erase our differences, but a recognition that true togetherness comes from respecting and understanding them. It's a call to build harmony, not by becoming the same, but by valuing our unique identities. The phrase united in diversity is about shalom and Ubuntu. In the interfaith space, this principle is vital. No group embodies diversity more vividly than those of us gathered here, representing varied beliefs and traditions. Our religious differences have at times sparked conflict and can be the catalyst for the worst of humanity's ills. I would like to share with you a memory of one of the darkest times since South Africa's democracy. In 2008, we had a horrific spate of xenophobic violence. Foreign nationals in our country were targeted and forced to flee their homes, some experiencing violence, and they were made to take shelter in makeshift encampments. The Jewish community joined other South Africans in assisting those subjected to this hatred. A glimmer of hope emerged as fellow religious communities joined together to provide meals and relief for displaced people taking refuge in these shelters. Our differences were put aside and we worked together in this common objective. I remember creating meal schedules with the Muslim community, taking into account their prayer times and our Sabbath observances. Together, we became the best version of what South Africa aspires to be. Our differences were not obstacles. In fact, they became strengths. By respecting and leveraging them, we created solutions no single group could achieve alone. In Bereshit, Genesis, God says, Vayomer Elokim na'aseh Adam b'tzelmenu kidmatenu. Let us make man in our image according to our likeness. If we believe that, then the greatest religious challenge is, can I see God's image in someone who is not in my image? Whose color, whose class, whose religion, whose dress code, whose language is not mine? God makes us all in the same mold, that being the image of God, yet we all come out differently. Today we face a great challenge because there is not a nation in the world that is not becoming less tolerant of diversity. In too many countries, we see different religions and ethnic minorities that were once friends and today experience conflict. We are in danger of forgetting a major fundamental religious truth that the rabbis said, Eze hu gibor, who is a hero, not one who defeats his enemies, but one who turns his enemies into a friend. Interfaith requires a concerted level of respect for difference. We come together from different backgrounds, values, and beliefs. While we may not share another faith's practices or principles, for interfaith to function, there needs to be a basic level of respect for the tenets and principles of others. Each faith partner needs to uphold the right for each religion to have their beliefs. This is fundamental to the success of interfaith engagement. And it also prevents what the Archbishop said earlier, interreligious tension. The late UK Chief Rabbi, Sir Jonathan Sacks of blessed memory, encapsulated this idea when he said, "Peace in the Judaic sense will come not when all nations are conquered as in tribalism or converted as in universalism, but when under God's sacred canopy different nations and faiths make space for one another." This is the essence of Shalom and Ubuntu, a peace built on mutual respect, not uniformity. The G20 is faced with finding solutions to address issues such as hunger and poverty, education, refugees and trafficking, disaster relief and emergency preparedness. For far too long, nations and religions have attempted to find resolution in silos. As we begin the G20 Interfaith Forum, we have the opportunity to tackle these challenges together through harnessing our differences to bring about change. As Rabbi Sacks said, God has given us many faiths, but only one world in which to coexist. May this forum help all of us to cherish our commonalities and be enlarged by our differences.
Thank you so much for your inputs.